I went to church every Sunday. We all did. And when I was in nursing school, every morning before, we always had chapel every morning at school. So we'd go to church before we had breakfast, and then we'd go to breakfast and then go to school. So we were always going to chapel, which is very helpful.
I was born in Lubec, Maine. My father was a minister, had a church there in Lubec. But we moved from there when I was around 2 years old to Detroit, Michigan, all the way from Lubec, Maine to Detroit, Michigan, where my father had pastored a new church, a Disciples of Christ Christian church. And of course, as a minister's son, I was expected to go to church, as were all of our family, my two older brothers. We knew it was important for you kids to have that background. But one of the churches that we went to for a while left us wanting. We weren't really getting from being members of that church what we thought we should be getting.
And we found in our Sunday school class, they didn't even believe in miracles. They didn't believe in the miracles. They had an explanation for everything. And Dad and I just left there just really upset that we'd left our Sunday school class, and it was just like a discussion group about rationalizing religion, and we just didn't like it.
So I was a member of the Lions Club, and we had Lions Club, we had dinners every month, and we always said grace, we always prayed. And I was invited to a men's dinner at our church. I was called and invited to go to this dinner, and one glaring thing that I remember about it is that we didn't pray for our dinner. We didn't before we ate.
Well, after we went to that Curseal, we both came back really dissatisfied with our church, and that's what started us searching. And we talked to this older man, Reverend McBratney, who was at the church at the time as an assistant, and he came out to the house because he knew we were dissatisfied and that we tried to get a Bible study going, and the minister wasn't interested, and nobody seemed interested, and he came out to the house and we talked, and he understood.
Our going to this Curseal was a result of a lot of things coming together. It was like, it was miraculous. And it was, isn't that the ironic thing about it is, it's sponsored primarily, or was then, by the Catholic Church. It was a retreat program for men sponsored by the Catholic Church. And at this particular time, I guess I'm getting into it a little bit now, but at this particular time, the Archbishop of the Detroit Diocese of the Catholic Church gave in and said he would allow men from other denominations to attend this court, what they call a Curseal. And that is when we needed that kind of a thing, and it fit our situation so well. It was amazing. And soon after that, the new Archbishop of Detroit's Catholic Diocese put an end to having having men from other denominations experience the Curseal. So it was amazing.
You didn't realize there was a denomination. It was just people coming together, one in Christ, and sharing experiences and miracles that they went through in their own lives. to come to the point where they could share all of the things that they had. And there were some pretty traumatic things that people shared, and it was just so much how much Christ loves us, and that's how we should love others, and that's what it was all about. And that's what was so amazing, and is so, like Papa said, it's hard for us to talk about without almost coming to tears, because it was such a terrific experience that we will never forget. And I think it just showed us more of God's love for all of us and everyone out there. So that's an experience you never forget.
And if I recall, we were well along in our Christian experience too. I think it was 1980, and I was, of course, 41 years old. So it's never too late.
No. And it was all, Papa said when he got back, it was like being awakened, like a child or a baby awakened by Christ. He gave us being kissed by him and starting anew. And I guess in a way
It was a real wake-up.
it was a wake up for both of us. And he took Gracio first, and then I went with the women, and it was just an experience, a God thing is what it was. It was a God thing.
You had to have a sponsor, and I was sponsored by one of the Methodist members of the church that we were losing faith in, which is kind of ironic too.
His son was in prison, so it was kind of like got us into realizing Colson's prison ministry and all the good things that are happening in prisons all over. And one of the women shared something remarkable when I was there, and her daughter was killed, raped and killed by a man in Detroit, and it was her only daughter, her only child. And she was living with that, but God was always gnawing at her heart, and her testimony was that she forgave him. She went to the prison. She wanted to see him. She went to pray with him. She told him that she forgave him, that she could not forgive him because God had forgiven her. And so from that experience, I think changed his life. And gosh, it had all of us in tears trying to just realize the depth and the hurt and the forgiveness. And it was just a little miracle right there. And it was just a remarkable experience for both of us to have that. And I will never forget it. It was really something.